Hello students, welcome to the subject Social Science, Standard 8, Geography, Chapter number 2, Land, Soil, Water, Natural Vegetation and Wildlife Resources. In the previous chapter, chapter number 1, we have already seen about the different spheres. We have talked about lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere and biosphere. Now we'll learn in detail about each of the spheres. Land. Land is among the most important natural resources. Why land is most important natural resource? As you know that we need land to survive over, right? May it be human beings, may it be animals, may it be plants, everything needs the land to survive over. We need it either for the settlement, we need it for the mining work, okay? So agricultural work, different factors of life, we are using the land. Yes? So that is the main point of this thing. Second, it covers only about 30% of the total area of the Earth's surface, and all parts of this small percentage are not habitable. Here, the 30% of land which is there, that is the land area, out of which some of the areas, okay, it is not habitable because it can be the frozen land or desertification area, desert area where the living population cannot survive. So that's why it is mentioned that the small percentage are not habitable. The uneven distribution of population in different parts of the world is mainly due to varied characteristics of land and climate. Different characteristics of land and climate plays a greater role in the formation of the land. The rugged topography. What is topography? The different forms of land, okay? May it be mountains, plateaus, valleys, okay, plains, etc. The rugged topography, steep slopes of mountains, low-lying areas susceptible to waterlogging, areas, the low-lying areas where the water gets logged in, that area is little risky. So people don't stay in these areas. Desert areas, the population, because of too much of heat in that area, population is very less, you can say. Thick forest areas are normally sparsely populated or uninhabited. Plains and river valleys offer suitable land for agriculture. Hence, these are the densely populated areas of the world. Where do we find most of the population? Is in the plains and the river valleys. Why? Because we have fertile land over there and agriculture is possible, and thus there are more number of people, densely populated areas of the world. Whereas in few areas you don't find people, there you find less number of people surviving. Land use. The second topic is land use. Why we use the land? For what purposes we are using land? Land is used for different purposes such as agriculture, forestry, mining, building house, roads, setting up industries. This is commonly termed as land use. We use for our own purpose this land. Okay, we cannot do anything without the land. Land is the basic necessity of the person. Land is there, then only roadways can be made. Okay, we can reach one place to the other. We have agriculture, forestry, mining work, building houses, roads and setting up industries. These are termed as land use. You have something important to know. Do you know here? 90% of the world population occupies only 30% of land area. The remaining 70% of the land is either sparsely populated or uninhabited. Common property resource. how can be the land used? Okay, land can also be divided on the basis of two, that is private land and community land. Private land, what is private land? Private land is owned by individuals, whereas community land is owned by the community for a common use, like collection of fodder, fruits, nuts or medicinal herbs. So here the private property which we are talking, the private land and the common land, these are the different properties we can differentiate into. So private land is owned by an individual, but when we talk about the community, it is owned by a group of members. Okay, a head will be there and group of members can use that land for different purposes. These community lands are also called common property resource, because it is not used for only one person, it is used for different people, so it becomes a common property resource. Is it clear, children? Change in land use over time. How change came in the land over time? People and their demands are ever growing, but availability of land is limited. Demands day by day, okay? If you get a particular, say, smallest thing, okay, you will have a demand for the, okay, let me have this thing. So, little larger version of it. So, people and their demands. I'll be showing you one pic, okay, in that you will get a better idea. People and their demands are ever growing, but the availability of land is limited. We have 30% of land, but our demands are racing higher and higher, okay. Limited population is going to increase, okay, and population is increasing, but the land is 30% only. Demands are racing. Everyone wants personal house. Everyone needs his demands to be fulfilled. So here the mention is given, people and their demands are ever raising, and we have a limited area which is there. People started encroaching the common lands to build up commercial areas, housing complexes in the urban areas. They are talking about the encroachment of the common lands. Even the common lands are being used up for their purposes, personal use, you can say. People started encroaching the common lands to build up commercial areas so that they can earn maximum profits from that, housing complexes in the urban areas, and to expand agricultural land in the rural areas. So maximum use of the land has been done for the personal and the, say, common property uses. Land degradation, landslides, soil erosion, desertification are the major threats to the environment because of the expansion of agriculture and constructional activities. Here you can see, because of usage of the land, okay, and there are different problems which are arising. What are the problems? Land degradation. Because of too much of mining work, you say lots of testing which is done for the nuclear bombs and all. So land degradation, for minerals and all, they keep on digging and they want to take only the minerals, okay, from deep within. So that's why the degradation of the land is taking place. Landslides, because the underneath of the land is very porous, because already the minerals have been dug out, all the nutrients which are there is dug out. So it is possible, if an earthquake takes place, if too much of rainfall takes place or flood takes place, landslide is possible. Okay, a side of the mountain can wash off or fall off, the debris will fall down. Soil erosion. If the grasses or the plants which are there, okay, they have the roots which are deep inside the soil, which are holding to the land. But as the rainfall or too much of grazing by the animals if done, then what will happen is this soil erosion will take place, okay, washing through the water, okay. Rainfall happens, too much of rainfall, then what will happen with the flow of water? The soil also get washed. That is soil erosion, eroding of the soil. Desertification are the major threats to the environment because of the expansion of agriculture and constructional activities, and too much of constructional activities which are taking place because the needs, as I said, area is limited, 30% is 30% only, but the population is increasing and population demands are day by day increasing. So that's why the constructional activities also will go high. Here you can see in this picture the first pic, okay. It's very clear from the first pic, this all area is agricultural area, and you see the houses which are built up is hut form, okay, and you see a person taking care, rearing his animals, and one person carrying his plow and all and going to the field. In the second pic you can see in the picture that some change has come, okay. This was the first picture, this is the second one. In the second one you can see lot of changes, the crops have developed. Here you can see instead of the huts you can see developed house, okay. Here far off you can see developed houses which are there, okay. And here you see instead of say this person who is taking care of the animals, here you can see tractor which is running, okay. And in the third picture, as you can see, the area, the road has been developed. And here you two cases, in two pictures you can see clearly that you have the land area which is not cemented. But in the third picture you can see the area is well furnished, okay, well clearly made up, and you have the cars which are used, the complexes have come up, too many flats have come up, you can see the house which has developed, 3-storied house, and you have a park which has developed instead of an agricultural land. And in the fourth case you see total development. As the time passes, the demand of the people rises, and you see variety of changes which according to the time and technology which is developed, time which is spent behind it, and you see changes which have appeared. Here you can see the biggest complex which has developed. Here you can see the 2 ways of road which has been prepared. Here the park has come up with new games and all, and here you can see behind so many complexes have developed and a lot of change which you can see. So this is the whole development. In the fourth side you can see a lot of development which has been done. So land is same 30%, but the use of that particular place in a limited area they have made up of with say flats, complexes, parks, then they have made broad roads and all, okay, and too much of vehicles have come up. Earlier you didn't have any vehicle, but later on in the fourth picture you can see a lot of vehicles which have come up. Landslides. Landslides are simply defined as the mass movement. Just now only we talked about landslide. It's a movement of one part of the side of the mountain, you can say. Landslides are simply defined as the mass movement of rock, debris or earth down a slope. They have often taken place in conjunction with earthquakes. Why do landslides take place? Landslide takes place due to earthquake, floods and volcanoes. A prolonged spell of rainfall can cause heavy landslides. Too much of rainfall taking place in that area, okay, that can also cause a heavy landslide. That can block the flow of the river for quite some time, and even the formation of river blocks, because the whole land is coming down. When the land breaks down, if the roads are there nearby, then the road blockage will take place. If it falls nearby to the river's area, the river will be blocked for so many days, because until the whole debris have been collected by the cranes and different methods, people coming up, then only the work can be done. The formation of river blocks can cause havoc to the settlements downstream on its bursting. In the hilly terrain, landslides have been a major and widely spread natural disaster that often strike life and property. Because of most of this natural disaster, what is happening, children? in this disaster, people might be staying, okay? Few people might be building their houses and staying on top. That full thing, okay, gets washed due to earthquake, flood, volcanoes, anything possibly. Volcano area, you don't find so many people, but yes, earthquake and floods do take place, and the whole area or the house and everything, all property gets washed with the land, and it is risking the life of people and property, and it occupies a position of major concern. We have to think about this. First of all, we have to map up like where all these things are happening, and we need to remove the people from that area and give them a place where they can settle down, which is going to risk the life and even the property later on. Okay, mitigation techniques. Okay, how do we save from this thing? Okay, so mitigation techniques. Hazard mapping. Locate areas prone to landslides. Hence, such areas can be avoided for building settlements. First of all, wherever you are going to stay, first look to that map, okay? Find out the places where earthquake is possible or flooding is possible. That area, avoid selecting, okay? That area, avoid selecting. Or the people who are giving the houses, try to see that you avoid these people getting settled in such places. Hence, such areas can be avoided for building settlements. Otherwise, together everything falling off, life is at risk, property is at risk. Property we can make, but the life once lost, to get back is difficult. So, this is important. Mapping should be done before. Second, construction of retention wall to stop land from slipping. You need to construct, okay, retention wall, a wall nearby so that the land doesn't slide off. Increase in the vegetation cover in an effective way to arrest landslide. Grow more of vegetation cover so that we can stop landslides on mountain sides, okay, or the hill areas. You can grow a lot of plantation, vegetation can be grown so that it can avoid the landslides, because the roots will hold on, the trees will hold on to the soil, and it might help in some instances, and we can stop this slides, okay, landslides which are occurring. The surface drainage control works are implemented to control the movement of landslides along with water and the spring flows. The surface drainage control works are implemented. Drainage control is being made so that the whole water, okay, goes through the pipelines instead of running off outside. So, that also can prevent the landslides. So, hope children you have understood with the first topic about land. We will meet in the next video. Till then, bye-bye.